All right, so hey, lovely people. Today I want to talk about how we can turn something negative into something positive. That could be a situation, that could be a state of being, a state of your mood, your attitude, or just your life in general. And I really believe and I know that if a lot of people had this skill of transmutation, right? It's called transmutation, but it really is just being able to be an alchemist and turn something negative into something positive, something you don't want into something that you do want, something that harms you into something that can serve you and that can benefit you. This is a skill that will go very, 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 very far in your life, in every aspect of your life. And it all comes down to how you control your thoughts, right? See, 9 times out of 10, we can't really control what happens to us, right? Like, life is random. There's so many factors, there's so many elements to life, and we can never control other people. No matter how hard we try, we can't control other people. But the beauty in it, the beauty of this reality is that we can control ourselves. But more importantly, we control our thoughts, and we can control how we think and perceive, and we can think in ways that can turn any bad situation into any good situation. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my dog. Okay, she's right there. Never mind. So controlling our thoughts is the key to positive transmutation, right? And I'm going to read the definition of transmutation here. I pulled it up. It says here on the online dictionary that transmutation is the action of changing or the state of being changed into another form. I'm going to read another definition, and I really like this one. This term is, what is transmutation magic? So it says, transmutation, sometimes called transfiguration or transformation, is one of the 8 schools of magic recognized by Golarion. As its name suggests, it deals with the transmutation or transformation of objects and people, or the changing of one of their attributes. Right, so let's go back to our thinking. So one of the things that drastically changed my life forever was really understanding and knowing how my thoughts created my own reality. I mean, I learned this fairly recently, and if I had known this when I was very young, in a very conscious way, I feel like I would have had more control over my circumstances and just my life in general. Hey, shh, be quiet. My dog's barking, I'm sorry. Right, so our thoughts, and going back to how what we think really changes everything. It will change your reality. So if something bad happens to you, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, this is so horrible, my life is over, this is going to be the worst thing that ever happened to me, instead look at what has, instead look at that negative thing, or that bad thing, or that harmful thing, or that hurtful thing, or person, or situation, or incident, and just sit back and think about some of the ways in which something good can come out of that situation, right? And a lot of times we think of negative or harmful things or incidents or people or situations as limitations, but limitations aren't always bad, right? Negative things aren't always bad. So one thing that you can think about is the benefits that can come from limitations. I'm going to try to think of an example. Okay. All right. Recently, I've had a colleague try to control me and harass me, right? Instead of saying, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to think of something clever to fix this. I'm going to make this work for me somehow. Somehow I'm going to make this work for myself. And so what I did is I started to think about the ways in which I could work around it. And that process in and of itself of trying to work around a limitation or a boundary or something negative is a skill that a lot of people do not have and or do not practice. And if you have that skill, and if you're constantly moving around negative things and moving around obstacles or adversity, that is a skill that you will develop and it will get stronger and stronger. So the next hard thing that comes along won't be anything. So that's one benefit of, and one way of turning something negative into something positive, right? And the next way would be to change how you think of it. Stop. She's always barking. I just don't understand why she... Stop it. Oh, okay. All right. So you can think about some of the positive things that could come along with it, right? So I had someone trying to just control what I was doing. So I thought to myself, this is a great opportunity for me to practice the skill of standing up for myself and not being pushed around, right? I saw it, instead of seeing it as a straight up problem or something negative or something horrible, I saw it as an opportunity to get better in a certain way, right? So like this process of transmutation, this process of turning something negative into something positive is a constant practice and a constant challenge of forcing yourself to see something seemingly negative as something positive, as something bringing something positive, or something or an incident or a person or situation that could lead to some type of positive and beneficial reality, practice, or behavior on your part, right? I don't want to go on and on, but just anytime something bad happens to you from now on, force yourself, even if it's like the worst thing you could ever imagine, force yourself to think about the ways in which whatever bad happened to you could benefit you. For example, if something as horrible as, oh my gosh, like someone scammed me, right? This is an opportunity for you to say, hey, well, I've learned this lesson, and this lesson in and of itself is something I didn't have before, and this is the positive aspect that I'm going to take from this negative situation, right? So a good rule of thumb is, when you can't think of anything else, or you can't find any other way to turn your thoughts around something negative into positive thoughts, just keep in mind that you've learned a lesson. And lessons are something that we keep with us forever. They're very positive. We can store them in our mind and access them anytime we need, anytime we come up with a new challenge or a new problem. We can take those lessons as tools and try to use them to work through the problems that we have at hand. So I hope this video helped. Right, so this is a lesson on transmutation and turning negatives into positives. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any comments, that would be great as well. Please ask them. And as always, thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe and join the conversation. Join the family.